Hi, YouTube. I just wanted to come on here really quickly as I can, to talk about my experience with IVF treatment and retrieval, especially. Every time that I have had any questions about the IVF process, I've gone on YouTube, and it's been really helpful, even if it hasn't been exactly what I've gone through. I kind of able to prepare myself to know what to expect, and also learn from other people's situations. So I just wanted to pay it forward and tell you all what I've been through. My retrieval was about 2 weeks ago, so I'm currently in the 2 week wait. And yeah, I'll just get started. I took some notes, so that's why I'm going to be looking down. And I'm also going to upload a video regarding the 2 week wait. So, as far as leading up to my retrieval, I had polyps that they found in my uterus. So that had to be removed before I could continue on with IVF treatment, or IVF retrieval and then transfer. So my polyps were removed on the 1st of February. They found 3 polyps in me. They said no fibroids. And my doctor is so chill. I don't know if it's because he thinks that I am pretty hyper and nervous about a lot of things. So, I mean, everything is just like, yeah, this was just a normal procedure. But then my ultrasound technician was like, yeah, they were big. They needed to be removed immediately. So I'm glad you got that out. So, yeah, I was under anesthesia, and they treated me really well. They said they numbed the whole area so I couldn't feel a thing. My recovery was like a few hours. Like, it was excellent, and I am not one for surgery. I'm not one for needles. I'm not one for drawing blood. So I was a nervous wreck, and that went so smoothly. So fast forward to a few days later, and I'm clear to do um, IVF retrieval, and so I start my medication. Mind you, I still have a cyst on each ovary. So those are different from polyps because they're on my ovaries. And I usually have cysts. So again, my doctor's like, yeah, they're nothing to be concerned about. But I'm watching all these YouTube videos with people who have cysts, and everything's canceled, and make sure that you're on birth control to, reduce the cysts. I've been on birth control. The cysts are still there. So yeah. But as far as the medication that I was taking, um, or the shots rather, and this was like one of the worst things about IVF treatment, is all the injections that you have to do if you are deathly afraid of needles like I am. Follistim, ganirelix. So they have not officially diagnosed me with anything. They are treating me as if I might have PCOS because my AMH level is pretty high, my ovarian reserve, and I meet like one out of the 3 major criterias. And I think that's like, having too much facial hair or something. But otherwise, I have like regular periods every month. So I was on a PCOS diet for a while, and I lost a lot of weight. And then, of course, my doctor was like, well, that's good for you because PCOS diets are pretty healthy. But I don't think you need to worry about that. So I'm thinking, all right, he should know. But yeah, so they're treating me as if I have PCOS. And so they're worried about OHSS, over ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome or something. So they put me on Lupron as my trigger shot instead of the Avidrel. I take cabergoline so that I don't have OHSS. I was taking the Z-Pak antibiotic, azithromycin. I am taking a trace, 2 tablets in the morning and then 2 tablets in the afternoon, or 12-hour span difference. I'm taking Medrol, which aids in implantation. I was taking, or am taking, Crenone, 8%, which is progesterone. My lining is super thick. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm thinking my period was due this Monday, and now it's Friday. So I'm thinking that's the reason, if I'm not pregnant, that's why my period is delayed. And the estrogen patch that I have to put on like twice a week. So that's everything that I'm taking. Retrieval. So that's everything that I was taking like prior to retrieval and then after retrieval. My retrieval was on the 16th of February, and prior to that, I had developed a huge rash, like from my neck all the way down to my thigh. Yeah, no, to my knees. It was everywhere, and as soon as I took a hot shower, it like would just flare up so much. So they told me that that could be a reaction to all the injections slash the medication that I was taking. And they said that I wasn't the only one. So nowhere on YouTube have I seen where anyone has talked about having a rash in response to the medications. So that's another reason why I wanted to come on here and just share that, I might have reacted poorly, and it could be extremely rare. But that was uncomfortable, especially just having surgery and having my polyps removed and thinking, like, I'm all in the clear. This must be as bad as it gets. And then just to be, like, itchy and uncomfortable. So they told me that I could go ahead and take Benadryl. So I bought the cheap kind from Walgreens. I took it for 2 nights prior to my retrieval, and it cleared up quite a bit. I didn't want to take any more because I was having, good eggs removed, hopefully, and I didn't want any kind of medication to mess with that. So I just took it for 2 nights. So here we are, about 2 weeks later. I can still see it, but it is a lot less. I would say 80% less than it was before. And I have not taken the Benadryl since that time. I also did like an anti-itch cream for my rash, and that didn't help at all. So yeah, retrieval day. All the videos again that I've seen on YouTube have just been so like, oh yeah, they removed like 90,000 eggs and they're all great, and I'm doing fine. That wasn't the case for me. They removed a lot. They removed 23 eggs. Out of those 23, 14 were mature, and thanks to my amazing husband who doesn't have any infertility issues, 14 were fertilized. So he was feeling mighty high. They told us that information a few days later. They didn't tell us that right then and there, because they wanted to see how they developed. But let me tell you, right then and there at my retrieval day, I was under anesthesia. They said they couldn't numb the area, but I was in pain, and I was not feeling well. I could not get up off of the hospital bed or surgical center bed for like 3 hours after my retrieval. I was just dizzy, nauseous. I threw up at the surgical center, and then I threw up again at the surgical center, and they're still like trying to like, not rush me out of there, but there are more people coming in for the retrieval process. I mean, my doctor is doing like, I would say at least 7 people that day, and he's probably got a full caseload the next day and the next day. So I mean, it's IVF retrieval like go time, and I'm already done, but I couldn't move. I don't know. I'm 5 feet tall. I weigh less than 120. Maybe I had a bad reaction to the anesthesia, but I had the same anesthesia, I think. Yeah, I know I did. I had the same anesthesia for my polyps being removed, and that didn't hurt. But the anesthesiologist said that they did, for my polyps being removed, numb my uterus, I guess, and they couldn't do that this time with my retrieval. So maybe that's what it was, but I was nauseous. I threw up. You have to fast the entire day, so there was nothing in my stomach to throw up. So it was like bile and water. TMI, I'm sorry, but I just want to keep it real so you all know what I went through. And maybe you can comment below and share if you've had a similar situation after retrieval, because I wasn't expecting it at all. I just thought it was going to be like, maybe boop, 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 remove, and that's it. I'm good to go, walking and stuff within an hour. But that wasn't the case. I threw up again in the car. I passed out in the car on my way home, and then at home I passed out again. And yeah, I was weak and I was in pain for about 2 days after retrieval. Prior to retrieval, though, my estrogen level was at like over 4,000. I was so, I guess, stimulated, and so I had a lot of eggs, I guess. So I was already like, my nipples felt like they were about to pop. My boobs, my husband said, had like tripled in size. I don't think that's the case, but I mean, I was tender. Like, you couldn't touch me. And I had a rash. It was uncomfortable. So maybe that had something to do with why I responded so negatively after retrieval, because I was just a hot mess, um, estrogen level wise, and the rash and everything before retrieval. So I guess that's my retrieval story. I'm gonna sign off here. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. Oh, I currently am taking magnesium, and before retrieval I was taking CoQ10, but I'm going to return this because it's got soybean oil and soy lecithin, and you're supposed to stay away from soy products if you have PCOS, which I know I haven't been officially diagnosed with, but soy, I have read, is not that great for fertility anyway. So I want to stay away from it. I want to stay away from it in general. I do believe I have endometriosis, but in order for them to officially diagnose me with that, they have to do surgery. And because I'm allergic to surgery, I hate surgery, I've opted not to do that because I've been told that it's not a guarantee that that automatically fixes any fertility issues. It just kind of removes what they can see, and then you kind of hope for the best. And you can still get pregnant through IVF with endometriosis. So that's my story. Sorry this video is so long. I told you guys I'm going to make a part 2 about the 2-week wait, and that's coming up right after this.